Goon Squad on 1, 3, 2, 1. Goon Squad. Welcome in, everybody. Goon Squad here to talk to you a little bit about some rookies today. We got a special guest on the show. This segment's going to be called Styler's Stone Cold Takes.
What's going on, fellas?
Welcome in, buddy. Welcome in. Welcome in. What's going on?
Oh, I'm ready to talk about some fantasy.
Excited to have you here today, Tyler. Like I said before, guys, we're going to talk about some rookies. You know we got Gabe. You know we got Damien. Our special guest, Tyler. I'm Levi. All right, let's get into it here. Tyler, I see the first rookie on your list here is Mac Jones. Care to share?
Yeah, I really like Mac Jones. When I wrote this up, it was actually the day before the cut list, and I had Mac Jones on here. I had him beating out Cam Newton possibly for week 1, and actually they ended up cutting Cam Newton, which, not that I completely agree with. I know some of you guys don't agree with it either. I like Mac Jones as a starter. The Patriots have the #1 easiest schedule this year per Fantasy Pro, so no other way to start a rookie off the gate with the easiest schedule all year. So during preseason, he had a 70% completion rate, which that's not bad at all. The other thing I noticed, each game his quarterback rating went up. So each game of the season, well, in the preseason, he was gradually getting better. Before they cut Cam Newton, he was actually going undrafted in most PPR leagues. I know you guys talk about Superflex a lot, but everything I talk about is just standard PPR, so I don't want to confuse everybody. But he was going undrafted in a lot of leagues, and that's why I liked him. He was a good stash in case they fucking bench Cam, and they ended up cutting Cam, so now he's the starter. But since they did that, now he's a 14th round ADP, and the quarterbacks going around there's like Ryan Fitzpatrick, Kirk Cousins. I am a Washington fan, but I'm not really big on Fitzpatrick this year. But yeah, so I really like Mac Jones, even if you want to set him on your bench and see how he does a couple weeks. So.
Yeah, for sure. I like Mac Jones and what he does for the Patriots offense. Cam Newton would vulture touchdowns within the 5-yard line. Damien Harris was really handcuffed by Cam Newton. That rushing ability with Cam, it really limits the offense. Mac Jones comes out, he can do dump-off passes to James White. You know, that stuff over the middles they're going to be there now for Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. I think it really opens up that offense for them. Hans, your next rookie here, Trey Sermon. Let's talk about that.
All the rookies I talk about today, this is my favorite one. Since the day they drafted him, he's been mixing with the starters. The other thing is, last year the 49ers finished 13th in the league in yards per carry, and that was with their starting running back Mostert missing 8 games. And I'd actually say he missed more than that because there was games he started, did a couple drives, and then went out. So I think to finish in the top half of the league in yards per carries with running backs like JaMycal Hasty and who else they have? Jeff Wilson.
Wayne Gallman last year.
Yeah, so, and I really like him. This preseason, he finished with a 3.9 yards per carry, which that's really good. Last year at Ohio State, he rushed for 870 yards in just 8 games. So he was rushing over 100 yards a game. He had a big workload. He was healthy. And the other thing I like, too, he's going in the 6th, 7th round this year with huge upside. When Mostert gets hurt, not if, when he gets hurt, I could see Trey Sermon becoming a huge RB1 in the league.
Yeah. So. Gabe, any thoughts about Trey Sermon here?
Does it worry you a little bit that Shanahan does like to use multiple backs? I mean, sometimes even when Mostert was healthy, he was still using Jeff Wilson. I think was vulturing touchdowns all year, and he's like a 4-string running back. So
no, I think really Mostert was always hurt. When Mostert was healthy, he was a top fantasy back in the league, even with mixing others in. So no, I think, like I said, when Mostert gets hurt and you can see the true Trey Sermon, I think he'll end up taking over that backfield.
Damien, how about thoughts? Any thoughts on Trey Sermon before we go to the next rookie?
I like Sermon a lot. Just I don't in dynasty outlooks though. Redraft, if he's falling, then take him because there's obviously Mostert more likely will get hurt. So there is a chance. Last 2 years though, the 49ers have had the top running back fantasy value in total points as a team. They've been top 5, top 10 for the past 2 years, especially with Shanahan, who just loves to pound, dude. He'll get it every time.
Let me ask you guys this: Chase Edmonds, Trey Sermon, Michael Carter, Melvin Gordon, all 7th to 8th round ADPs in a Superflex league. Who are you guys taking?
Chase Edmonds.
Yeah.
Because he's in the starting role right now.
Yeah.
I don't see James Conner vulturing
I agree.
much.
And James
Yeah.
Conner, again, another back that's always hurt. So
What if we take out Edmonds and we put in Trey Sermon, Michael Carter, Melvin Gordon?
I'm going to go Trey Sermon
Yeah.
because I think Melvin Gordon loses his job to another rookie, Javonte
Javonte
Williams.
Yeah.
And Michael Carter had a lot of hype going into the season.
Yeah.
And as of lately, they just
Yeah.
don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I'm seeing
I was-
Ty Johnson a lot, which is a surprise.
I will also say this too. We talked about this on another episode that 49ers offense projected to be a lot better than the Broncos and the Jets. That's also another reason why you might want to look at Trey Sermon in the 7th round compared to some of those other guys. They're gonna, having that better offense, more points, more yards to share. So
Yeah, and from a dynasty standpoint too, they already have a pretty good quarterback in Jimmy G, but say he goes down, you have Trey Lance, who arguably, in my opinion, he's looked like one of the better rookie quarterbacks this preseason. So, like I said, from dynasty, the dude's going to have a good quarterback.
it's
there
crazy
for
how
years
good
to
all the
come.
rookie
Yeah,
quarterbacks
this
have
is
looked
Yeah,
this
the
season.
first round
I'm
quarterbacks
shocked.
have
It's
been
crazy,
Yeah.
pretty
yeah.
lights out. Yeah,
I'm pretty shocked,
that's-
honestly.
All right, next guy. I'm sure it's a personal favorite for Hans here. Let's get into it.
Nothing like the UNC product, Diami Brown. I really like Diami this year. He's another guy that's going under the radar. He's undrafted in 95% of leagues. So far in camp this year, he's been seeing a lot of reps in the slot over Adam Humphries. And with Curtis Samuel battling an injury all year, I mean, he's still not practicing. Rivera said he's actually supposed to start practicing tomorrow, or Monday, I should say. And he's been saying this for the past couple weeks, so that's only given Diami Brown more reps with the starters. And this preseason, he's averaging 12 yards a catch. And from what I watched, they're not 12-yard routes. They're little dump-offs, and the guy's just quick. I mean, that's what he was known for in UNC. The dude is fast. He gets the ball. He has good field presence, and he makes guys miss. So I really like him. Again, this isn't a guy you're going to have in your lineup week 1. Halfway through the season, you might start noticing them, and you'll regret not picking them up in the beginning of the season.
Tyler, are you worried that Fitzpatrick is known for targeting his number 1 and number 2 receivers a lot more than say that third receiver a lot, and then to go on top of that, Logan Thomas, who's also such a threat? Are you worried that those guys are going to soak up so many targets that Diami Brown's not going to be relevant, or?
I think throughout the season he will be relevant because there is a lot of mouths to feed on that offense this year, especially with Gibson being a catchback as well, and we have McKissick. But I still think, I mean, if Samuel's injury lingers all year, Brown's going to step in. He could end up being that number 2 guy at the end of the season with Terry McLaurin, and then you have Logan Thomas as well. So honestly, I think having those other guys might be a bigger opportunity for Brown because they'll be worried about the bigger stars on the team, and
That's true.
then Brown could
Yeah,
end
that is
up
very
being
true.
pretty relevant. But I guess as the season goes on, we'll see.
Damian or Gabe, anything to say about Dynami? I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Yeah, I think he might be like someone to pick up. Probably week 3, week 4, just in case if Curtis Samuel still isn't 100% healthy.
Yeah, for sure.
Although I do believe Samuel is probably going to be kind of used to the offense already since he already did play with Ron Rivera. I'm sure they're going to try and implement the same type of offense. So I think he should just need to build up chemistry with Fitzpatrick more than anything. And that could be big too because Brown obviously already has that chemistry.
You made a good point too because the offensive coordinator for the Redskins used to be on the Panthers, and he likes to run a lot of end arounds with wide receivers, and Curtis Samuels is one of the faster receivers in the league. So yeah, I could see Samuels being used a lot more too. And as well, this is kind of off topic, Samuels is going super late in drafts, so that's another good.
I got him in 12th round. In
Yeah, so that's another good guy to look at too. But
Gabe, we got, so like Tyler said, Dynami Brown is free basically. He's going undrafted, right? Are you taking someone like Dynami Brown, Dwayne Eskridge, Pat Fryermuth in your, those free rounds, or who do you look for more in that out of that trio, I guess?
All 3 of those you said are really good if you're dynasty purposes, even in late rounds. Most of them are all going free.
Yeah.
I think based on, since we said tight end, you're going great or late. I don't really know if you're taking Pat almost every time, only because if you have someone like Kittle or Kelsey, your backup really, you only need him for 1 game. I don't know if I'm taking Pat, maybe for the future, but I think out of the other two you said, it's tough. I might lean Dwayne Eskridge on because there's less mouths to feed. There's Lockett and DK, but after that, they got rid of David Moore.
and better quarterback. play
Yeah,
as
better
well.
quarterback.
Yeah, better
play, so.
team.
But you
know,
can't go wrong with Donnie Brown.
Yeah, I think at the end of the round, like at the round 17 area, which is what most drafts end in, it's a good spot to grab one of those free guys like the people we're talking about. All of them has solid upside if one of those starting receivers go down, so it's a good bench hold. So, talking about Pat Freiermuth kind of leads us into our next rookie here. Let's
Yeah, I really like Pat Freiermuth this year. He has the second easiest tight end schedule with what the Steelers do as a whole. In regular PPR leagues, he has a 14th round ADP. I really like that. And he also has a connection with Ben. We saw that in the last preseason game against the Lions. And not soon after that preseason game,
2 or 3
Ben said,
touchdowns, right?
Two.
he had two, yeah, and Ben
They're
said,
tested.
he reminds me of another tight end we used to have, which I think we all know who that is, Heath Miller. So last year, Ebron finished 15th in yards per all the tight ends, and to be honest, Steelers really didn't even use Ebron that much, in my opinion. So to see him finish 15th in the middle of the league, I think the ceiling's high for Freiermuth. And again, this is another guy in the beginning of the season, might not be relevant, but from a dynasty standpoint, he could be the guy in the next year or two in Pittsburgh. So they have the wide receivers to keep attention off them.
Yeah,
They
I
have
think
a
it's
good
a good
running
bench hold
back.
for sure.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
Ebron always gets hurt. I'd have to look it up, but I don't know if he's played a full season in a very long time.
It might be the last time he might be with the Colts.
I think last year
So-
he played 15 out of
But it seems
16
like he
games,
gets
but
banged
they
up a
didn't
lot,
use
so
him.
the
So he
opportunity
does
for
miss
Freiermuth
plays.
to take
Yeah.
over, man, is
Oh,
huge.
yeah.
And the Steelers pass a lot. I know Najee's there this year, but Ben is basically still going to be that OC. He always clashes with new OCs. You know he's going to try to run Big Ben things. There's going to be a ton of passes in that offense.
Hurry up.
And when you have a quarterback that's been around the league as long as Ben,
Yep,
and he's
yep.
comparing a dude to Heath Miller before he's even played his first real regular season
good,
game,
yeah.
he sees something in the guy.
The only worry,
So-
the only worry I have there is being that we're talking about Ben. This is his last go round. I think we're all on the same page there.
Yeah.
I just hate for Pat to get a connection with Big Ben, and then you're gonna have another quarterback there next year. I don't know if that'll affect him or.
Well, it's one of them things. It could be a bad thing, or it could end up being they could get a guy in there that loves tight
Yeah.
ends. I mean, you just
Yeah.
never know. It's just one of them gambles you have to take. But fantasy is a gamble.
Yeah, and
so.
for like our viewers, just so you get a kind of perspective, Kyle Rudolph, Dalton Schultz, Pat Freiermuth, Mo Alley Cox, and like Ian Thomas are the tight ends being taken in the Pat Freiermuth range. Out of those guys, I would take Pat Freiermuth out of
All
all
day.
of them.
All
day.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
values
all day.
there, the
Yeah.
the ability,
Upside.
yes, the upside.
He
Thank
has
you.
such big
He has
upside.
this red zone threat.
Yeah.
Our next rookie, that was Tyler's rookies. So our next rookie is for Damien. He's going to talk about Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I liked Zach Wilson a lot. He showed a lot of promise, and I think the Jets finally found their quarterback. It's been forever since they had one. Probably Chad Pennington's probably their last decent quarterback.
Hey, now Mark Sanchez, 2
Whoa.
AFC champions.
Hey, yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
I'm not. He didn't carry that team. That was all defense on Rex Ryan right
They have
there.
a good defense. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, week one they eased him into it. He was 6 for 9 for 63 yards. His quarterback rating was about 87, which is okay. Your first game, you're trying to get up to speed with the NFL level. That's it's a big difference. Unlike Justin Fields saying he felt slow, and it's not the first time we heard that from rookie quarterbacks. But week two, he really showed even more promise against Green Bay's defense, whose defense is pretty good. Excuse me. He went 9 for 11, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, and his passer rating was pretty much perfect, like 154.7. It has to be around the perfect range, and so I mean he's getting consistent, and you need to see that in a quarterback. I like his wide receiver room a lot more than the Jets have had in the past.
That's the thing too. He's not just new to the team. A lot of people
Yes,
on
there-
that
that's a
offense.
whole-
He's not the only one learning the
From-
offense.
yeah.
You got a new running back. You got new
Oh,
receivers. Now, just today, Jamison Crowder tested positive for
Yeah,
COVID.
yep.
They said he's probably going to miss week 1. So
Yeah.
the dude's already taking these hurdles with ease. And I was just reading the other day, someone from the Jets said that he looks light years above
Yeah.
where he should be for a rookie. So
Yeah, and
It's crazy
Yeah.
the rookies this year,
And-
the quarterbacks.
I don't know if you guys heard
we
it.
gotta say
Tony
it again.
Romo has come out and said he's supposed to be like Zach Wilson's supposed to be the next Pat Mahomes.
yeah, I did see that.
Now, I don't know if I'd go that far yet. The kid has yet to play a legit game in the NFL regular season, but I mean that's a pretty good comparison.
Yeah.
And
But-
the other thing Zach Wilson has above all the other rookie QBs, his mom is a straight MILF. So, I mean, I know you guys see it. I'm not the only one.
She's a looker.
Yeah, and Adam Gase isn't there, which is probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So
they got a coaching
Smelling
staff now
salts
too.
Gase.
So our next QB also looking absolutely dynamite in the preseason here. Gabe's QB, rookie QB. Gabe, go ahead.
I took Justin Fields, rookie from Chicago. I think he got drafted into a really good spot. I think that fan base has been yearning for a while for their next franchise quarterback. Jay Cutler ended on a bad note. I think he was good, and then he just wasn't.
Jay Cutler was my favorite QB in Madden, right, Harold?
Shout out. I think in preseason this year, he completed 30 of 49 passes for 276 yards, 2 touchdowns, along with 11 carries for 92 yards and a rushing touchdown, no turnovers. And I think he adds that rushing aspect, too, that will help the Browns offense learn as they are a bit younger. Outside of Allen Robinson, Cole Kmet's coming up. Darnell Mooney's in his sophomore year.
They said he's supposed to break out this year.
Yep, and I think they're still answering some questions with the O-line, but I think as the year goes on, that'll get a little bit better. I know they brought in Jason Peters.
That's your
I
boy.
think, go Birds.
Yeah.
I think he's very poised and confident in the pocket. Like I said, he didn't turn the ball over as previous quarterbacks, and that's what Chicago's been known for. He went from Jay Cutler to Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah.
That's all they were doing. I think he'll be starting by week 3 or 4 in my mind. I think if Andy Dalton doesn't do well, that it'll be quick.
I mean,
I also think the
yeah.
fans are calling for it more so than the coach.
And the biggest thing with like Justin Fields, he offers a rushing upside.
Yeah.
And that's so important in fantasy quarterbacks because not only do you get the passing touchdowns and the passing yards, the rushing yards make fantasy quarterbacks so much more valuable. The first quarterbacks that always usually go off the board are Josh Allen, who has amazing rushing upside and rushing touchdown upside, Lamar Jackson, huge rushing upside. Patty Mahomes, he does have a little bit of it, but it's Patty Mahomes. He's on a separate level.
Jalen
And
Hurts has been climbing.
Kyler Murray. Those are the first round those are the first round quarterbacks that go in the Superflex league because of the dual threat. And Justin Fields has that ability.
And I think
Sorry.
Oh, good.
The only thing I don't like about Fields, and I'm gonna sound like one of them conspiracy dudes, Ohio State.
Yeah. That's scary.
Dwayne Haskins, who I was a huge believer in, threw 50 touchdowns his last year at Ohio State, and anyone that watched footballs knows he has been a complete bust. So I like Justin Fields. I like what he's been showing. I hope he's that guy to break that spell. And I do really like him, but that always just lingers in the back of my head. Like, Ohio State quarterbacks never pan
to
out
go
for
back
me.
a little bit farther about your pick about Mac Jones, does Alabama quarterbacks concern you? Because, I mean, they haven't really amounted to much.
Well, I mean,
recently.
the last, it was Mac
I'm
Jones, Jalen Hurts, and
I'm
Tua. And, yeah, no, I completely agree.
Jury's still out on that one.
Yeah,
we
Tua,
don't know yet. So.
really haven't seen much of him last year, and what I did see, I wasn't impressed. They
Yeah.
said he's been having a better camp, but until regular season starts, we'll see. I completely agree. I mean,
Alright.
I think the fantasy outlook of Fields a quarterback, one last thing, I think it boosts everyone on there, the running backs and the wide receivers, coming, especially from Mooney and Robinson's perspective.
Yeah, I don't think
Robinson's had an inconsistent quarterback play every year there, and he's still one of the better fantasy
Montgomery
receivers.
picks up where he left
And I
off
think you need a
last
good
year.
running game for a rookie quarterback. I think Montgomery helps.
Yeah, like to
I
what
think they're all
Gabe's
gonna
saying
benefit
here,
there.
like Robinson, I don't think his value is going to change from Dalton to Fields.
No.
But I think Cole Kmet and Darnell Mooney will have a jump with Fields.
Yeah.
Our next rookie here, guys, Amon-Ra St. Brown, my rookie that I picked. I've been big on him all off season. I took him in like the 12th round. I've been taking him early. That's not his ADP. I gotta look for his ADP. I'll find that 1 minute while you guys talk. But so I think he's gonna be really good this year. I think the Lions receiving room is very, very shallow. Tyrell Williams and T.J. Hawkinson. That's it. They got a bad quarterback. He's gonna throw a lot of passes because the Lions are gonna be bad this year. They're gonna be trailing a lot. There's gonna be a ton of garbage time. Amon-Ra St. Brown is 5'11", 197 pounds. He's always running this. He's gonna be running that slot route basically. That's gonna be you look at Cooper Kupp and what Jared Goff always targeted Cooper Kupp. I feel like Amon-Ra St. Brown could be that next Cooper Kupp. It's just gonna take time. He's gonna be a bench hold. Gabe and Damien, anything to say about that? Tyler?
I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think with the wide receiver room the way it is, I think he's destined for targets.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyler Williams really is a number one in my mind. And outside of Hawk, who I think is the best option as a safety blanket there, I mean, once teams figure that out, you have to throw to someone else.
Yeah.
They signed Perryman to a deal in the offseason, and they just cut him, so they must like what they're seeing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like you said, maybe in the beginning of the year he might not be the guy, but I could see him finishing as their wide receiver one at the end of the year.
Yeah, I agree.
From here on
I
out.
like a lot that he's shown.
And they have a good O line. They suck,
Yes.
but they have one of the
Yeah.
best. I mean, they
They
picked
do.
Sewell,
Penny Sewell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
he-
they already
Full
had a
center.
good line from there.
Yep,
So,
yep.
and you have a run game. Could Jared Goff turn it around? You never know. You just
Yeah.
don't know.
Let me
Did you
hit you
get that
guys.
ADP, Levi?
Oh yeah. He's being taken as a 75th receiver off the board. Probably puts him around. I didn't get the exact ADP. I'm sorry, guys.
Seventh round.
No.
Oh, no, that's
this-
75th
yeah,
receiver, my bad.
Yeah. I think it's the 13th round, but I have to double
That's
check.
good.
That's
still
real
yeah,
good.
still-
Real good value.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Rondell Moore, Terrence Marshall, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Which one did you guys take? They're all being taken in relatively
See,
same
this
rounds.
is tough for me. I'm going to take St. Brown only because right now I think he's more promised a starting role.
And for targets, I
And
think
for
he has more
targets, I would take
targets.
him. If I had to go second, I'm taking Terrace Marshall. He showed a lot. I think he's a good.
Yeah.
And Rondell Moore, he has a lot of talent. He can be good. I just don't like where he went. There are so many mouths to feed in that
Yeah.
offense
Yeah.
that I can't see him doing anything.
Damien, can you rank those three?
I like Marshall over St. Brown,
Okay.
and then obviously Moore. I agree with Gabe about
So
Moore.
Marshall, St. Brown, Moore for you, Tyler.
I'm with Damien. As a fantasy aspect, though, I'm with Gabe. I'm taking Amon-Ra St. Brown just because where he's at. They got garbage receivers in Detroit. Like he's gonna be good
Yeah.
in Detroit. Now, if I was picking a dude for my team, if I'm an NFL owner, I'm going Terrace Marshall. But even in Carolina, you have
DJ Moore,
Robbie
Anderson,
Anderson.
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, you have
yeah.
the best running back in the league. So, fantasy aspect wise, I'm on.
And here's
I'm
the
on
biggest
St.
thing too,
Brown.
guys. Don't get discouraged from your rookies in week 2. Sometimes
Well,
it takes a couple weeks for rookies to get going. Justin Jefferson was the best rookie probably ever recorded last year, and week 3 is when he took off.
Yeah.
I know people were dropping him week 1 and 2, and then he was free in week 3 and absolutely took off.
I held on
Now,
to
if
him,
it's
man.
week 4, 5, or 6, and they're still getting 0 points, 0 playing time, it's okay to drop them because they're basically free. But it is okay to hold them if you have the depth. Just a reminder for you guys out there, once again, we want to thank you for your support. We love doing this. We love providing you with content. Please comment with us. We love talking to you guys. As always, please drop a like, share, follow, at @FF_Goon Squad. And we got our faceless wonder, James Rapinski, back there doing our audio and video work. We love him. Maybe one day you'll see his face. We don't know, okay?
I love his face.
Thank you.
Thank you.